do it backstage.
She told.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. The ceremony will commence shortly and will last for approximately 2 hours. Before we begin, may I make a few recommendations to ensure that we have a smooth and memorable evening. Would you please either turn off or silence your cell phones and also refrain from coming forward to take photographs during any part of the ceremony. You will be requested to stand on 3 occasions during the prayer and for the school song and national anthem. Your attention and courtesy throughout the ceremony will be appreciated. If you require any assistance at all, please feel free to approach the teachers. We hope that you will have an enjoyable and exciting evening and that the special moments experienced tonight will create memories that last a lifetime. Thank you. Good evening.
Mic check.
Honored guests, proud parents and family, members of the audience, namaste, and welcome to the graduation ceremony of the class of 2022. Today, 164 students will come to the end of the chapter of their educational journey at Global Public School. But as it is said, graduation is not the end, it is the beginning. High school graduation is exciting. It sparks hope for the future and invites graduates to dream big as they embark on the next stage of their lives. So on this graduation day, it is with immense pride that we commemorate this important milestone. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the graduating class of 2022. Let us welcome our grade 12 GPS International students and our grade 12 CBSE students escorted by their class and associate teachers. Let's keep that applause going. Here they come, a bright, enthusiastic, talented, and resilient group. And encourage them along the way. So members of the audience, let's also hear it for their parents, their family, their friends, and teachers. Class of 2022, today we celebrate you. You have worked hard and you have persevered. It's so nice to see you all in your caps and gowns. For centuries, year after year, graduates have worn this distinguished attire in various colors in thousands of schools and colleges throughout the world. But have you ever wondered why? Because the cap and gown symbolize recognition and achievement. So wear it with pride. Let us begin this momentous occasion with a prayer. Please rise for the prayer.
Serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change all I can, and the wisdom, yes, the wisdom to know the difference. To accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change all I can, difference. There's a wisdom, courage, the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom to know the difference. Wisdom to know the difference.
Thank you, audience. Please be seated. Again, we are grateful for your presence. To welcome you all, I invite our principal, Ms. Saritha Jayaraj, to deliver the welcome address.
Namaste. I'm simply delighted to be with you all on this auspicious occasion, a real in-person graduation ceremony for our pupils. After the arid spell of the last 2 years, we yearned for a time when we could meet our students and celebrate their march to progress. This evening, that wish has been fulfilled, and we are blessed that we have been given this golden opportunity. To elevate and enhance our celebrations, we have a very erudite and distinguished luminary in our midst. On behalf of the Global Public School team, it's my honor to welcome our chief guest, His Excellency, Mr. Venu Rajamani, IFS. I'm extremely pleased to welcome our chairman, Mr. P. Jacob, members of the board, and our partners, the parent community. I'm thrilled to see these young graduates sit right in front of me, all ready to fly high, with their eyes hooked on to the world's best universities and colleges. But in the race of chasing your dreams, never miss the most valuable things in life. Sometimes, the simplest things are the ones that are capable of bringing a smile onto your face. Embrace all the moments in your life, no matter whether it's big or small. May simple things bring you joy. Finally, as Shakespeare said, 100,000 welcomes to each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Saritha ma'am. Our next speaker is our fearless leader, our captain, our mentor. She radiates positivity and inspires us to be better, and she somehow has all the answers. She is a ball of energy. I wish I had that much energy. I would take even half of it. She empowers us to believe in ourselves and in a brighter future. And she does all this with such grace and poise. It is my privilege and honor to invite our advisor to the chairman of the school and board of trustees, Mrs. Lakshmi Ramachandran, to render the message for the graduates.
Honored guest, Ambassador Rajamani, Chairman MP Jacob, other members of the board, dear members of Team GPS, and my dear class of 22, Namaste. I'm trying to soak it all in, the fact that we are in this auditorium after so long and it's almost full. Grateful. Just as we thought that we had overcome the ordeal of the pandemic, our collective conscience has been traumatized by the haunting images of war in our TV screens. Yet, as I stand here and see your eager, earnest faces, I'm beginning to be infused with hope and optimism for a better tomorrow. Yes, as John Goss said, it is amazing how a little tomorrow can make up for a whole lot of yesterdays. As you look ahead, I hope that you have also taken a good look at our theme for the evening. May simple things bring you joy. While each one of you is destined for a great future, I pray that you always remember that the building blocks to greatness are the small, simple things of life. The pandemic and the war in Ukraine have shown us how small, simple things can still make a world of difference. Laura McBride, in her novel, We Are Called to Rise, puts it so beautifully. She says, and I quote, "It all matters that someone turns out the lamp, picks up a wind-blown wrapper, says hello to an invalid, pays at an unattended parking lot, listens to an oft-repeated tale, folds the abandoned laundry, plays the game fairly, tells the story honestly, acknowledges help, gives credit, says good night, resists temptation, wipes the counter, waits at an amber light, tips the help, congratulates the victor, accepts the consequences, takes a stand, steps up, offers a hand, goes first, goes last, chooses the smaller portion, teaches a child, tends to the dying, comforts the grieving, removes a splinter, wipes a tear, directs the lost, touches the lonely. What is most beautiful, dear children, is often least acknowledged. What is worth dying for is barely noticed. Isn't it true that more often than not, we are so caught up in this frenetic rat race that we forget our moorings? The glitz and glory often blind us and make us forget our humanity. I don't know whether you've heard of a teacher, a very famous New York teacher whom I follow, called John Perricone. He's also a great motivational speaker. I'm going to narrate a small incident that happened in one of his classes and which he shares. He says, "Several years ago, I invited a Buddhist monk to my senior elective class, and quite interestingly, as he entered the room, he didn't say a word. That in itself caught everyone's attention. He just walked to the board and wrote, 'Everyone wants to save the world, but no one wants to help mom do the dishes.' We all laughed, but then he went on to say this to my students. I repeat, to mine. Statistically, it is highly unlikely that any of you will ever have the opportunity to run into a burning orphanage and rescue an infant. But even the smallest gesture of kindness, a warm smile, holding the door for a person behind you, running an errand for an invalid, by that, you would have committed an act of immeasurable insightfulness, because to each of us, our life is our universe. The last 10 days have been personally harrowing for me. A very dear friend has been detected with terminal cancer, and I lost a beloved family member who died in her sleep. The former exemplifies to me that every knock must be taken on the chin, and that one must always show up with grace and gratitude no matter what. And the latter, for me, was the embodiment of love and positivity and, in fact, universal love. Beloved children, as you enter the phase of your beautiful lives, next phase of your beautiful lives, this is my prayer for you. I pray that the universe benefits by your small, simple acts of kindness, and that you heal and save another person's world one step at a time. May love, resilience, empathy, gratitude, integrity, and forgiveness be your building blocks. Godspeed, God bless. We love you all.
Thank you, Lakshmi ma'am. I am pleased to announce our chief guest for the evening, Mr. Venu Rajamoni, a career diplomat with more than 3 decades of experience, scholar of international relations, and former journalist. Mr. Rajamoni has held several key positions in India and abroad. He held the post of press secretary to the President of India during the tenure of President Pranab Mukherjee. He was the ambassador of India to the Netherlands, and he was also the permanent representative of India to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons in The Hague, as well as responsible for India's relations with the International Court of Justice and the Permanent Court of Arbitration. On September 17, 2021, he assumed the post of Officer on Special Duty, External Cooperation, with the rank of Chief Secretary in the State Government of Kerala. He also serves as a concurrent faculty of diplomatic practice at the Jindal Global Law School at O.P. Jindal Global University in Haryana. He could not be with us in person today, but we are fortunate that he has sent us a special message via video. If you could please direct your attention to the screen for the keynote address by our honorable chief guest, His Excellency Mr. Venu Rajamoni.
Namaste. Good afternoon, friends, graduates of the year 2022 from Global Public School, students of the school who are present and who are watching on YouTube, the teachers, the faculty of the school, the leadership of the school, the principal, the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Viju Jacob, who is a good friend, advisor to the chairman, Mrs. Lakshmi Ramachandran, parents, a very important component of any school community, and all others who are present, who are watching. Good afternoon to each and every one of you. It is truly a great privilege and honor for me to join you on this graduation day. I'm sad that I'm unable to be there in person, but I do hope that I shall have an early opportunity to visit the school and meet as many of you as possible and to interact with you directly. The Global Public School is a school which has made a very good reputation for itself from the early days of its existence. It is not only regarded as one of the best schools in Cochin, but also one of the best schools of Kerala, as well as perhaps India. So I congratulate each one of you who are part of the school community, along with the special people of today, the graduates, on your very important achievements. And I wish the school community, and I wish all the graduates the very best in the coming days. This last 2 years has been a challenging time for the whole world. There is nobody whose life has not been disrupted as a result of the pandemic. And the students, the graduates of this batch who have had online education for the last 2 years have been at the front lines of it. They have had to bear the brunt of it, along with teachers who also had to take a much bigger load, and along with managing their families, along with staying at home and looking after their own children, they've had to teach online. I am myself a professor at the O.P. Jindal Global University in Sonipat near Delhi now, and I know how difficult it is to teach online, to communicate, and to maintain a lively connect with your students. So what you have achieved is tremendous. I do not know how many of you have seen a wonderful ad which runs on television these days, where there is a young student making a graduation speech and saying, yes, we are the batch which graduated online, or which studied online and graduated during COVID times. And yes, our lives might be very different from previous batches or from future batches. But that difference is also very special, because parents have supported you despite their own difficulties, despite perhaps losing jobs, having a reduced income. They have continued to pay your fees and continued to support you. Many of your family members might have been unwell because of COVID, but still throughout those difficult times, they have stood in support of the students. And the teachers similarly, despite many personal difficulties, have stood solid by the students, and the students have adapted to technology, have adapted to online education, like fish takes to water, and have come out successful and are now looking at the future with optimism and confidence. So truly, what has been achieved over the last 2 years, this very special batch of 2022 has much that it can claim to its credit. It is not just having passed, having graduated, and having done well in the exams, but also the fact that you dealt with the adversity of COVID with great grit, with determination, and you have successfully overcome it. Let me mention to all of you students that you have heard of the saying that every challenge is also an opportunity. So this adversity must be converted by each and every one of you into an opportunity. Many of you have already done it well, and what you must do in the coming days is to retain these online skills, is to hone them, to develop them, and to improve them. In the coming days, in the world of 21st century, in where we are, the whole world is going to be a knowledge society. Knowledge is king, and to acquire that knowledge, to assimilate that knowledge, to disseminate that knowledge, technology is extremely important. The more you develop skills in terms of all kinds of online activities, including social media, the more equipped you will be as you go forth into the future to face the world and to meet the challenges of the future, to come out successful again and again and again, as you have done in your exams this time. So my first message to you, my first advice to you is, you have had this wonderful opportunity where you have all been forced to use this technological medium of online education to graduate, to study. Please continue to build on it. Use it as a foundation. Develop it as much as possible so that you go forth into the world armed and fully equipped to sort of address every challenge that comes to you, and to perform each task in a far better manner than you would have ever done before, or than in any of your peers who have not mastered technology may be able to do it. Secondly, friends, I think I would like to tell all of you that you must look at the world around you, you must look at society around you, you must look at the community around you. What is this pandemic? A tiny, invisible virus brought the entire world, mighty countries, rich and powerful people, societies to their knees. An invisible enemy whom we have not been able to see has caused such upheaval in a society, has caused such damage and suffering to the world, to people across the world, in terms not just of their health, but also their economy. So we must be able to prevent the pandemics of the future. We must be able to invest more and more in health and education. We must be able to raise not just the quality of life of each and every citizen across the world, but we must be able to ensure that their immunity, their strength, their ability to resist diseases, which very easily can spread across the world, are at its best and are at its maximum. Have we reached that stage? Sadly not. We still have a long way to go to ensure the basic minimum of health security, of food security, and economic security for a large majority of the population of the world. Even in COVID times, in the midst of great economic distress, what we saw was a phenomenon of the rich getting richer and the poor being marginalized more and more. So this situation has to change. This situation must change. And not only this, look at what is happening in Europe right now. You must have all read about the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, a war having broken out, a war of a kind that Europe has not seen since the Second World War, and a war which is bringing enormous destruction and havoc to the people of Ukraine, to the cities of Ukraine. Now, why do wars still happen? The United Nations was created after the Second World War on the lofty principle of trying to move the world towards an elimination of war. Yes, the UN has been successful in preventing a world war, but there are many, many wars which have happened, and the UN has been helpless in trying to stop it. And even now, as this war happens, we see much of the world just as bystanders, the people of Ukraine being left to defend themselves on their own, essentially with a little outside support, but no direct participation by any other country, because there is a genuine fear that more countries jump into the fray. It could escalate into a third world war or another war where nuclear weapons, God forbid, are used. So the world is going through great turmoil at this point of time. People say that this is a time when liberalism is on the decline across the world. Democracy is on the decline. Human rights and fundamental freedoms, all of which were upheld as the most important of rights post-Second World War, after the horrors of Nazi and fascist rule, after the genocide of the Jews, which was perpetrated by Hitler and his cronies. We had thought that the world had changed, the world had transformed. And when the Soviet Union collapsed, there was great celebration, saying that now the bulk of the countries of the world are on the path of democracy. But instead, what we see is authoritarian rulers coming up everywhere, polarization being deliberately engineered within societies in an effort to divide man and man, woman and woman, to make people fight with each other, engage in contestations and competitions on the basis of race, on the basis of religion, on the basis of language, on the basis of culture. The number of wars between countries may have reduced post-Second World War, but there is huge conflict within societies, and there is discrimination which still persists. There is exploitation of the poor which persists. There is exploitation of women which persists. We still are far from attaining a gender balance and full women's empowerment in all societies of the world, not just in India. But so there are huge challenges that await all of you as young people as you go forth into the world. We must end war, we must eliminate poverty, we must bring health and education to all. We must truly establish equality amongst people. There must be not just equality, there must be full support for the women in our society to enable them to blossom and contribute their fullest in all aspects of our life. And together, we must move towards a brave new world where the differences between us cease to matter, and we see each one of us as children of the same God, as people who have been created by the same Almighty, in His spirit, in His flesh and blood, in like the Paramatma and the Atma, as we would say in Indian philosophy, that we are all united, we are all one. And together we must face the challenges that confront us. Together we must overcome them. Together we must build a world where there is prosperity, there is peace, there is harmony. This is the huge challenge that awaits all of you as young people. The course of history cannot be determined. We are at a particular point of time right now. The elder generation has tried its best, has had some success, has had major failures, but either way, the way ahead is going to be not smooth sailing, but a time when each of you have to bring the best of your abilities into creating this brave new world, into creating a world where your dreams truly come true. So I urge each one of you as you graduate, as you see the tremendous destruction that is happening in Europe through a war, through your television channels, as you read about students like you who went to Ukraine to study medicine and other subjects and were trapped in bunkers for days and days in the midst of shelling and in the midst of bombing, without food, without water, without having the ability to communicate, because data and internet connectivity is a vital necessity in today's world. So how they suffered and how we have just about managed to bring them back, and how one poor Indian student from Karnataka was killed when he went out of his bunker to find food for himself. So it was an absolute tragedy, and this tragedy teaches us of the complexities of the world, of the difficulties that we still need to overcome, of the fact that a war like this can still break out in this day and age in 2022, and that we should all join hands together to try and see what is it that we can do to prevent these things from happening, to manage them better, to reduce the suffering of people, and to constantly promote unity of people across countries, across societies, across religions, across caste, across economic divides. How we can truly we must begin with our own little communities. The school itself is a community, with your neighbors, with your friends, with your families. But unity must be the mantra. Peace must be our goal. Harmony must be our conviction. And the common prosperity of everyone should be the goal towards which we work. So to achieve this as students, I would say that each and every one of you should take a lively interest in public affairs, should travel as much as you can, should meet as many interesting people as you can, and you should continue to use every means possible to both acquire knowledge and acquire a sensitiveness to what is happening around you. Ultimately, all of you might do well in exams, might win gold medals, you may do well in the field of sports, you may take part in a large number of extracurricular activities which all contribute to your personality. But please remember at all times, and this is a message to the teachers too, that the ultimate purpose of education is molding of character, is building good human beings who are compassionate, who are caring, who are sensitive, and who not only uphold ideals, but are determined to fight for them and to to disseminate them and to spread those ideals far and wide within society. So once I conclude, congratulating the graduates and wishing them the very best for their future, for their studies, for their career, for urging them to build a brave new world in the coming days, to sail forth in confidence. As a person who has lived in many countries, met young people like you across the world, let me tell you, you are inferior to none. You are as good, if not better, than the best of your age that you can find anywhere in the world. So sail forth with confidence, but also sail forth with determination that you will change the world, that you will make a difference to the poorest of the poor, that you will contribute to creating a sustainable society, an environmentally friendly society, to discovering new development paradigms, and you will always be a voice for peace, a voice for unity, a voice for harmony, and a voice for pluralism. Thank you very much. Good day. Bye-bye. Namaste.
Thank you, sir, for that motivating and powerful message and valuable advice for our graduates. Let us all aim to make a difference to help build a brave new world. Dear parents, your children have proven to be strong, adaptable, and resilient. They have risen to the occasion and have overcome challenges along the way. May they continue to go forward in life with that same dedication and vigor and find ways to stay brave every day. Hope they remember core values of honesty, integrity, kindness, and gratitude in all that they do. And may they find joy in what life may bring, for happiness comes from the simplest of things. As I give you back your children on this special day, know that I will always remember them and root for them every step of the way. Regards, their alma mater, Global Public School. Parents, this is indeed a proud moment for you. Your love, support, dedication, and synergy with the teachers have been vital ingredients of your child's success. So I now invite Mrs. Sridevi NR, head of GPS International, to introduce a few parents who will share their insight and experiences along their path to this moment.
Thank you, Zarina. Namaste. The tripod that holds up the foundation of a child's education consists of parents, teachers, and the school. Parents are their first gurus, and therefore, it is only appropriate to hear their views on this momentous occasion. With several firsts to his credit, this good doctor has over 25 years of experience in orthopedics and is an expert in hip surgery in the state. He has immense experience in ACL reconstruction surgeries, and his pioneering work on meniscal repair has been presented at the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons Conference and is the most viewed poster in 2021. Today, he is here as a proud parent of Josh Thiruvil. Our first parent speaker, Dr. Bipin Thiruvil.
Thanks, Sridevi ma'am, for the kind introduction. Graduates of 2022, distinguished guests, dear friends, teachers and staff of Global Public School. I got a call from Sarita ma'am, it's about 2 weeks ago, asking me to talk about my experience as a parent here. I told my wife about this and she burst out laughing. She said, right choice of the parent. The last time I have been here was 12 years ago. So I had to take a crash course in the parental experience in the past 2 weeks. And all the criticisms, ma'am, you are going to hear, you have got the person right behind you to shoot. I am just the messenger. So I came here around 12 years ago when we were relocating from England. And that time we visited a few schools. Here, when we came in, we met Lakshmi ma'am that day. We liked this school because suddenly it felt very nostalgic. It's like small windy roads. It's got beautiful greenery all around it, spacious interiors. And Lakshmi ma'am took us around. And she was extremely kind, very warm welcome to us. And we immediately felt that our kids would be safe out here. And Josh did enjoy his 12 years here. When we relocated from abroad, we were worried about how our kids would adjust to this facility. Josh joined in year 2 when Sujata ma'am was his teacher. She took him under her wings, absolutely smooth transition, no adjustment problems whatsoever. The class teachers over the year, I'm missing a few, Blessing ma'am, Sridevi ma'am, Namita ma'am, they are all excellent teachers, very good family friends as well. You know, I come from a family of teachers. I know I train a lot of students myself. I know how difficult it is to teach these students, especially at these formative years. And you have done extremely well. The reason that I didn't have to come here 12 years is purely because you took extreme good care of him, just like a parent. So I thank and congratulate each of those teachers, not just the teachers, the staff around here for that. The travel for us was almost an hour from Kallur to here. And he had to travel in the bus. The only complaint he had was that the chechis won't let him speak. But after that, I think recently since the COVID come out, he says the chechis are better. They let him shout out in the bus and they let him, go around. So he really enjoys it. And by the time the travel part he started to enjoy, I'm sorry that it has got to come to an end. Overall, the experience has been excellent. The only small criticism I have is probably about the feedback. Appraisals are very important. We know it's the era of political correctness and all that. We are all afraid to criticize. And when Josh's, feedback comes in, I almost, he looks like a saint. And, I almost thought there was an Einstein in the making. But then the marks came out. I realized, Einsteins don't do that well in school. I hope, Josh, you are there, right? Only joking, his marks are good. And you have taken very good care of him. And as I look at you from here, I see all these happy faces. And, I congratulate the teachers, the students for what you have made of these students and students of what you have achieved. And remember, students, you have had a very privileged education. You have had some excellent teachers. Make good care of it. And I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bipin. Our next speaker is a postgraduate from the London School of Economics and Political Science. She works with India's leading news magazine, The Week. Her vision for a litter-free India led her to co-found Binit India, a non-government organization. She picked up calligraphy during the lockdown and has now made it into a small venture. Diya Matthew, the proud mother of Ananya Matthew, is here to share her thoughts.
Good evening to you all. I was a little afraid that this might be a little too tall and you wouldn't be able to see me behind, but I'm glad that it's a little shorter than I am. First of all, I think we have to pinch ourselves. It's really hard to believe we're actually here. That itself is a cause for great celebration. All us parents are thrilled that these wonderful kids graduating today can physically be here with their friends, their families, and what a joy for them to have just had these past 2 days of rehearsals. There's much to be said of all that's been lost during what was meant to be the best 2 years of their school. But today is not the day to dwell on what could have been. Like graphite turns to diamond under immense heat and pressure, this graduating batch has been seared through fire, and they've survived and thrived. So no advice for you all. Each of you have had to grow up faster and deal with an unprecedented volatile environment. You all have had a head start in life, wiser, steelier, and stronger than any of us ever were when we graduated from high school. We appreciate you all for dealing with disappointments that few preceding batches have had to endure. I have to especially mention the new students who joined in grades 11 and 12. We all realize how hard these 2 years have been for you, and you have everyone's respect for your resilience, strength, and maturity in plodding on each day. Ladies and gentlemen, please give these wonderful kids a well-deserved applause. Secondly, and most importantly, I have to thank the incredible management, teaching staff, and support staff of this wonderful institution. We have seen how you have first waded through these uncharted waters of the pandemic and have triumphantly finished the marathon. As a person who struggles with technology, I've been amazed at the dedication of the teachers, some of whom are older than me, in swiftly adapting to technology. They've had to teach day in and day out, often to blank screens, muted voices, muted videos, and desperately try to engage with disengaged teens. All us parents truly appreciate your efforts. And I think it's now the kids' turn to give their teachers a big hand. To the graduating batch, I want to say, you are on the cusp of the beginning of your adult lives. You will have a fantastic few years ahead in college, and there's so much to look forward to. Lots of laughs with new friends on campus, late night heart-to-hearts, weekend trips, lounging on your college greens, endless coffees, cramming together for exams, first loves, and a few heartbreaks. We wish what's normal for you. If there's one thing we've all learned these past few years, and just mentioned by Lakshmi ma'am, as well as the motto for today, is that there is immense joy to be found in the smallest pleasures. Congratulations to the graduating batch of 2022. We wish you all the very best that life has to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Diya. I now call upon Mr. Binoy Paulos, parent of Priyan Binoy. Mr. Paulos has more than 20 years of experience in the medical transcription industry. He is also a certified medical transcription trainer and CBA certified. He is the managing partner of Phoenix Cybertech Transcript Solutions. Mr. Binoy has also diversified his business in the fields of influence marketing, real estate, and corporate training, to name a few. Over to Mr. Binoy Paulos.
Honorable Dean Lakshmi ma'am, respected Principal Sarita ma'am, our Chairman Jacob sir, His Excellency our Chief Guest Venu Rajamani sir, beloved Seema ma'am, all other respected teachers, non-teaching staff, fellow parents, and beloved children. It's a very emotional moment. Today, on this graduation day, while standing in front of you, my mind goes back several years, 2007 to be precise, when my wife and myself, along with our son Priyan, who was then only 4, visited the campus of Global Public School for the first time. We had shortlisted several schools in Ernakulam, and finally the list contained only 2 schools. One was Choice, and the other was Global Public School. We first visited Choice when the administrator took us around, showed us all the various facilities, the state-of-the-art classrooms, several other features which made our eyes gleam in admiration and held us in awe. We almost made up our mind, but then we thought, let us also visit Global, because we had heard a lot about its uniqueness and speciality. When we reached the premises, we loved the calmness and the serene atmosphere. But the thing that touched our hearts was yet to come. We were taken to Stepping Stones, the kindergarten section, by the then administrator, Miss Jisha Antony, who held my little son by his hand and took him around showing the facility. She took him to the classroom, showed him the toys, all the articles in the class, made him sit on the colorful benches. And the whole time I could see the outpour of affection and care, and the little one fully engrossed with the new auntie. We just quietly followed them and watched them totally involved in all the activities. And it was at that moment when we decided that global it is going to be. Not once did Ms. Jisha try to influence us about the benefits of joining the school, but we as parents were 100% convinced that our son will be cared for and loved for in this institution. And today, after 15 long years, I thank God Almighty for helping us take the right decision that day. And our son is what he is today, only because of all the values he has received from Global. We as parents strongly believe that academic excellence is only the one aspect of quality education, but ethics, good morals, respect for seniors, respect for women, regard for fellow beings, courage to face a gathering, saying no whenever it is needed, care for the flora and fauna, being responsible towards the society, and acknowledging the duty that accompanies every right is what one must learn through quality education. And I can proudly say that our son has imbibed all these qualities only through the quality education he has received at Global. On this day, I wish to thank all the teachers for making this happen. Each and every one of you has played a role, but some names have left a lasting impression. Seema ma'am, you have always been there as a friend, philosopher, and guide. Always happy for his success. Rema ma'am, who always looked out for Priyan in a crowd of students. Susanna ma'am, who has been a great motivation. Reena ma'am and Asha ma'am for their exemplary love and care. Lakshmi ma'am for being that pillar of inspiration. And Sarita ma'am for that special attention. All class teachers from Stepping Stones to present day grade 12 class teachers, Shalini ma'am and Ann ma'am. We bow before you for all the qualities that you have inculcated in our child and for always trying to bring the best out of him. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. For us, Global is an emotion. And we request all of you to reserve a corner for us in your hearts and always include us in your prayers. Dear friends, I once asked one of my gurus, how long should a speech be? So that guru said, the moment you start speaking, just lift up your right foot and start speaking. And the moment your foot touches the ground, you should immediately stop. Dear friends, my right foot just touched the ground. Thank you so much for lending your ears. And incidentally, that guru is none other than our beloved Lakshmi ma'am. Thank you very much for this rare honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Benoy. Students, I hope the memories you made while at GPS will be ones that you cherish forever. I know most of the adults here, myself included, look back at our school days so fondly. So take a moment to think about everything you have done and accomplished and what you can take away from your alma mater. I invite our Vice Principal of Co-Scholastics, Mrs. Deepa John, to introduce the students who will be reflecting on the memories of their time here at GPS.
Thank you, Zarina. Namaste, everyone. If Infectious Good Cheer had a name, it would probably go by the name of our first student speaker. She comes in as a breath of fresh air, and she hits you with her vibrant personality. The impish smile and infectious good cheer often belie her leadership skills, empathy, fierce fortitude, and enthusiasm. A keen sports enthusiast, she has a flair for all sports, but athletics and football are her passion. She made history as being a member of the first ever girls' football team at GPS. That was a defining moment for GPS Sports and a shared proud moment for all of us. She's always motivated by a desire to view matters from fresh perspectives, an impressive trait that will serve her well in a career in filmmaking. Ladies and gentlemen, our first student speaker of the evening, former Waterhouse captain and graduating student from GPS International, Shloka Vasant.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening. Can I just start by saying everyone looks so wonderful, truly. Respected dignitaries, parents, students, everybody. It feels so surreal to be standing here at our graduation. I mean, who thought we'd have a graduation? Who thought we'd even graduate, right? This was just one of the many uncertainties since COVID. And of course, we didn't have what one would call a traditional high school experience, having done 11th and 12th through a laptop screen. What should have been 2 years of skipping class, requesting for PE, and getting in trouble for wearing the wrong uniform turned out to be 2 years of trying to get away with not keeping our cameras on and not wearing uniforms at all. But seeing our school tackle these hardships was an extremely proud moment for me as a member of the GPS family. Weekly fitness and life skill sessions, clubs, and even inter-house events were integrated into our schedules to break the monotony of online class, making it a tad easier. Like I said before, we didn't have a conventional high school experience. We didn't get to parade around school, subtly bossing over our juniors, like seniors typically do. But that's okay. Because everything said and done, standing here today, at this moment, all I feel is gratitude. Looking back at the years I've spent at GPS International, I'm grateful for everything, the highs as well as the lows. From field trips and hilarious opt-out sessions to stressful exams and petty arguments, it has all brought us to where we are today. I realize the past few years don't define our entire schooling journey, a journey that's now coming to an end after 13 long years, finally. Jokes aside, it's incredible to see the bonds that we have developed through the years, the bonds that we have developed through time. Acquaintances turned into friends, and friends turned into family. The peers we smile at in the hallways, our favorite chechis, our teachers, they have all been such a big part of our daily lives that the thought of that changing feels a little bit scary. But wherever we end up and wherever life takes us, it feels good to know that we not only have a ton of great memories to take with us, but also a forever family. On behalf of all my peers here today, I would also like to say thank you to our incredible, wonderful teachers who have been a constant source of support for us from day one. In your own way, dear teachers, you have each helped shape us into the people we are today, and no amount of words can fully express our appreciation. All I can say is we will forever cherish all the wisdom that you have shared. And once again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. I would now like to conclude by saying, happy graduation. Let's hear it for the batch of 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Shloka. We on our part will always cherish your time here with us. The year was 2018, and the grade 9 firehouse prefect could be seen here, there, and everywhere. And we all thought, she's so proactive. Fast forward a couple of years, and today, when I type out the letter A on my phone keyboard, the first predictive text that always pops up is her name. Even the phone recognizes her as my go-to person for the past 2 years to get things done. And it's the same for all of us who have taught her. Calmly confident, good-natured, fiercely determined, always willing to go the extra mile, this soft-spoken and outstanding young lady shoulders responsibility graciously and willingly. Her commitment and integrity will hold her good when she moves on to prepare for a career in computer engineering. Please put your hands together for former Deputy Head Girl and current Head Girl, Alyssa Mariam Kurvila, graduating student from 12A.
Thank you, Ma'am. 5,113 days. That is approximately how long I've traveled through these gates. A global public school for me is 14 years worth of 1 billion memories. And today, I stand before you at the crossroads of mixed emotions. The excitement of discovering what the world has in store for me, and the sadness of leaving the place I call my second home. From being a toddler, walking into stepping stones and learning to count, to getting promoted 3 floors and learning to add alphabets, it's safe to say that I've come a long way. But apart from all the science and math, the most important lesson GPS taught me was teamwork and having a sense of family. And by teamwork, I don't just mean completing a group project together, but being each other's support system every single day. It's the simple things like sending each other notes, teaching each other those quick tips before exams, or just listening to each other. And this doesn't apply just to the students. It's the teachers and faculty as well. The most amazing memories here at school came when we least expected it, but they were the best. For me, it was Rosita Mings, a food stall that we put up at Swimathon in 2019. An overnight idea that shaped itself to being one of my most favorite memories here at GPS. And then there are those memories of us just going to the clinic, most of the time with real problems, or just to skip a class test. And of course, asking teachers for water breaks, and then walking around the entire school before we got to the water cooler and back to class. Every day at school holds a very special place in all our hearts, which I'm sure we aren't ready to let go of just yet. But as they say, every end is a new beginning. Thank you to all our dearest teachers for walking us through each year, for bearing with all our excuses and helping us push our boundaries. And most importantly, thank you for never giving up on us, even when our cameras were off and mics muted. To all the Chechis and Chetans at school, thank you for waiting for us when we were really late for the bus, for letting us break a zillion rules on the bus, and making an each and every day at school an enjoyable and comfortable one. And finally, to my entire batch, thank you to each of you for being you. I couldn't have ever asked for a better bunch of people to have experienced my journey here at GPS with. And wherever you go next, remember, before you are all your dreams, around you are all who love you, and within you is all that you need. Thank you.
Water breaks. That explains seeing her here, there, and everywhere. Principal, I hope you're taking notes. Our next speaker can best be described as a reliable, good-humored student and a friend who supports others in and out of the classroom. I was fortunate to have had her in my drama club in 2018 and 19. My colleagues all agree that she is a gracious and talented young lady who is an absolute pleasure to have in class. Her strong values and respect for others will surely go a long way in making a huge difference in the world around her. This voracious reader and music enthusiast hopes to make a mark in the advertising and marketing field. Let's hear it from Vaishnavi Dushyant, graduating student of 12C.
Good evening, respected dignitaries, parents, principal, teachers, all other members of the staff, and my dear fellow graduates. At the outset, let me express my gratitude to our school and teachers for this wonderful opportunity to speak at the 2021-22 graduation ceremony. I feel extremely humbled and honored. These indeed are bleak times, and we had reconciled to not having an offline ceremony at all this year. So, on behalf of my fellow students, a heartfelt thank you to our school for this wonderful surprise. And a big thank you to our teachers too for ensuring that even during these unprecedented times, our education remained unaffected by the lack of direct interaction with our teachers and friends. I stand here before you filled with emotions, which I'm sure I share with each one of you. This beautiful school, the truly priceless experiences that we've gained here, which have helped mold our personalities, and the memories that we've made here will all forever be a cherished part of our lives. I'll never forget how anxious I was the first time I walked into these hallways. My biggest fear was that I wouldn't be able to fit in because as a kid I had trouble making friends. Little did I know that I had just entered some of the most memorable years of my school life. When I walked into that 7th grade classroom for the first time, I was the only new kid in class. However, the genuine welcome I received helped me get over all my anxiety and made me feel like a part of the team in just a few days. That classroom became my classroom. I remember our annual functions, inter-house competitions, houseboats, and class assemblies. They were all honing grounds for important life skills. Valuable lessons learnt while amassing fun memories. One of the fondest memories I carry with me is the buzz of chit-chat in the cafeteria and the corridors, and our teachers getting us back into the classrooms when the bell rings. Above all, the most precious gift our school gave us are the friendships we made here, not only with our peers, but also our teachers. An important chapter of our lives is coming to an end. However, a whole new one is awaiting us. The future is not something we should fear. Rather, it's a challenge that we should gladly embrace. This is our day of celebration, and soon we'll all be traveling our separate paths. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has said, "All birds find shelter during the rain, but an eagle avoids the rain by flying above the clouds." Problems are common, but attitude makes the difference. Friends, let the learnings, experiences, values, and knowledge that we've gained in our beautiful years here arm us to become eagles. So, class of 2022, good luck to us all as we set out to conquer the world. May we all have beautiful and blessed lives ahead of us, filled with love, compassion, happiness, and success. Thank you.
Vaishnavi, thank you for sharing your memories with us. We wish you all the best. The word basketball conjures up fond memories of our fourth speaker. As team captain, she lived and breathed basketball. She is the embodiment of a true gypsite who puts her heart and soul out there for each school event, either as a volunteer, participant, or just a very enthusiastic cheerleader. GPS has been her second home, and we have proudly watched her grow from an 8-year-old into a fine, compassionate, and dependable young lady who always endeavors to make the world a better place. We are looking forward to the excellent work she will strive to do at the internship she has procured at the Fourth Way Foundation, where she aspires to take up social causes and turn them into innovative challenges. She hopes to forge a career in criminal psychology. Ladies and gentlemen, here is former Environment Secretary Marianne Varkey of 12D with her reflections.
Wow, that's a big crowd. Honestly, I wasn't expecting something this big. Respected dignitaries, dear principal, parents, teachers, and my fellow graduates, good evening. It would indeed be apt to say that joining Global was one of the most rewarding experiences. Let me start off by sharing a small story on how I joined GPS, actually the GPS hostel. I remember standing in the foyer while my parents were sweating buckets trying to convince me to join the hostel. I was in the 3rd grade and didn't even know what hostel meant. Then my eyes wandered off and spotted the swimming pool. Since back then schools with pools weren't exactly common, I knew there was no going back from there, and so my gypsy journey started. But then again, I cried the same night after realizing I wouldn't actually be spending all my time in the pool. Hostel provided me with a new perspective on life. This is the place where you felt like you had accomplished something big in life if you discovered a new way of sneaking in your favorite food. A place where the strangest combinations of food tasted like heaven and so much more. But on a more serious note, it was the place that shaped me into who I am today. And the people in it had the greatest role. And of course, our warden, who was always there to encourage us and stood by through thick and thin. These remarkable adventures don't end there. Like my mother keep mentioning, the interaction that teachers have with their students is amazing. There were times during online classes when my family wasn't sure if it was a group project meeting or a subject class, because it wasn't that typical teacher-student relationship. But I was grateful for it. Even our wonderful school chechis were always willing to assist us, and they would always grin at you unless you decided to splash a good amount of water on the floor. GPS is where I first learned to play basketball, and he even had the opportunity to lead the team. Not that it was all victories after I joined, but the experience surely had its perks. Another outstanding experience at GPS has been the awe-inspiring musical and annual day events that we were part of. In fact, my parents, especially Dad, would eagerly look forward to be immersed in the vibrant colors and melodies of the show. I'm sure that students will always share the values we learned at school, and especially the GPS specialty greeting, the Namaste. It has truly become part and parcel of the way of our lives. And on that note, I would like to bid farewell to my Gypside journey, and I hope that each of you have your own Gypside journeys to take forward with you as you step ahead outside the secure zone of school. Thank you and have a lovely evening. Good luck, graduates, and thank you.
Marianne, it's heartening to know that our swimming pool gave you a home away from a home and us you. The profile of our last student speaker should read like this. I'm a die-hard Air House fan, a tech whiz, and a brilliant and creative genius. As former deputy school pupil leader and school pupil leader, I led one of the most proactive student councils at GPS. I'm extremely meticulous, often exasperatingly so. The lack of time permits me from giving you a synopsis of my quantifiable achievements at school, for they are numerous and noteworthy. I haven't quite decided between a career in visual media or software engineering. My teachers, however, believe that a brilliant future awaits. You will never hear all of this from Hafiz Mohammed of GPS International. Listening to this, he is probably cringing backstage. Yes, he is. Humble and gracious to the core, Hafiz is just not one to blow his own trumpet, but he is here to share his time with all of us. Thank you.
For the past year, I've been on a path of experimentation. I waved my hands around a little and called it a dance for Teachers' Day. I tried to bring out my inner Fahd Fasil for Awards Day. And to the horror of fashion designers around the world, I even tried out my hand in stitching. Good evening, dignitaries, parents, teachers, and my friends in the class of 2022. Today, I'd like to take the next step in that path. I can already see my friends covering their ears. Don't worry, I'm not singing. Instead, I would like to take this opportunity to talk about expectations. You expected me to be giving a speech about success or some other vaguely defined concept. You don't need me stressing you out. The board examinations are doing a phenomenal job already. I still remember waiting for the results. No, not the board exam results. I'm talking about the results of a film fest I took part in. Yeah, I definitely have my priorities straight. My friends and I fully expected to walk away with the Best Picture award. We walked away disappointed and upset, but with the resolve to come back next year and take that award home. And then, COVID-19 happened. We expected our last 2 years to be an absolute blast. We expected to have one last tug of war. We expected to be cheering on the winning house, on Sports Day. Instead, we were mostly confined to our rooms, heads buried in books, and staring at the computer. Science students here, not to worry much. Nothing really changed for us. But I would like to take a moment to appreciate what we have achieved. Our teachers and faculty led the way and made even this experience memorable and exciting. As a batch, we were the first to finish the majority of our high school online. We were the first to have an online student council and the first to host an online crossroads. Thank you, teachers, for making us realize each hardship presents an opportunity for growth. And thank you to my batchmates for always having each other's backs. If the last 2 years has taught us anything, it is that we can never truly expect what the future holds. We must expect to fail. We must expect to adapt. We must expect to rise above it all. Paradoxically, we must also be ready to defy those who expect us to fail. We have grown so much. We have learned so much. We have overcome so much. Batch of 2022, let's go out and make something of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Hafiz. Thank you, students. And
Ma'am, graduates, I hope you continue to thrive and bloom wherever you go. Pursue your dreams, believe in yourself, have faith that you can achieve, you can succeed, and be who you want to be. You're stronger than you think, so in the face of adversity, fight to overcome, wave your colors, and never give up. Singing Believe, ladies and gentlemen, the Gypsite Choir.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your ability. You are capable of anything. You can achieve any dream. Please don't limit yourself. Don't live your life limited. It's not all sadness and misery. Life's a challenge, but you will succeed. Take control of how you feel in every circumstance. Work on yourself daily. Your story's far from done. The best is yet to come. To achieve, you must believe. You can live out all the dreams. Persevere, you will make it through. What you need is all in you. When you believe, you will achieve. You can live out all the dreams. It's about time you knew the truth. You got the power all in you. You have to believe in yourself. You don't have to hide anything. You can be your true self. Don't need to follow society. Never forget that you're blessed. Give thanks for everything, even the hard times will turn out to be blessings. No matter how you feel, you can learn from your pain. It's there to make you great. Your story's far from done. The best is yet to come. Let it out, let it out.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. We now come to the most formal part of the ceremony, the conferring of scrolls. I invite Mrs. Lakshmi Ramachandran and Mrs. Sridevi NR to the stage to hand the scrolls over to the GPS International graduating students. And as I do, I'm handing over the podium to Mrs. Varsha G. Nair, class teacher of grade 12 GPS International.
Good evening. My dear students, you've traveled a remarkable journey to reach this moment. I am so proud of you. That I was your teacher, I'm really proud of the fact. I watch you work hard, learn, and grow. I know for sure that each of you will make a difference and do great things. We as teachers will be here cheering for you all along the way, wishing you all the very best in everything you do. I'm honored and pleased to announce the graduating class of 2022, Grade 12 Global Public School International. Aisha Sahir. Aarti Ajit Kumar Pillai. Alan Ajit Varghese. Ananya Susan Matthew. Anya Jo Matthew. Arjun Suresh. Daniel Anirudh Matthew. Daniel George Conard. Devansh Bafna. Dia Mary Manuel. Gauri Santosh. Hafiz Mohammed. Ishan Srikantan. Jonah Jimmy Thomas. KV Arjun Menon. Kevin Thomas. Leah Fatima. Meenakshi Anand. Michelle Elizabeth Gibby. Meera Nair, Parth Shivakumar, Reshma Susan Philip, Ryan Jeevan Joseph, Sarah Alice Vinu, Samiksha Chettiar, Samreen Zaina Ajit, Shloka Vasant, Shreya Menon, Sinan Ziad Abdul Rahman, Sneha Alfonso Francis, Soumya Anil Pai, thank you.
It's time for us to capture this joyous moment. So I invite the senior management team along with the class and associate teacher to join the students of GPSI for a class photo. We've been hiding our smiles behind masks for 2 years, so here's your chance to smile real big. I invite our director, Mr. Johan Jacob, and Ms. Saritha Jayaraj to the stage to hand the scrolls over to the graduating students of CBSE grade 12A and 12B, and to the podium, Mrs. Joyce Jacqueline, class teacher of CBSE grade 12A.
Thank you, Zarina. Good evening, everyone. The world awaits you, dear students, for your curiosity, your ideas, and your innovations. Be bold enough to use your voice, bold enough to listen to your heart, and strong enough to live the life you imagined. It was my privilege to have taught you, and I will forever cherish the memories you leave behind. Proudly presenting to you 12A class of 2022. Adi Esudas Suku. Abdullah Manzoor. Aditya Abraham Raju. Aishwarya Nair. Alan Nizar. Alan Romy. Alan George Kannadikal. Alisa Mariam Kuruvilla. Anand Anil Kallalayil. Ashok Tanyet. Daniel George. David Matthew Mojish. Dipanshi Kishore. Rishi Ashok Menon. Ishita Delish. Ivan A.B. Kurian. Juan Thomas. Kailash Shaji Shankar. Manna Susan George. Matthew Abraham Palyambil. Matthew Joy Potkaran. Milin Jose Blaze. Nicholas Joy Potkaran. Pranav C. Pradesh. Rahul Rajeshwar. Rajin Sudhir Kumar Bhatasana. Raj Shankar Krishna Kumar. Ratan John Spally. Rebecca Kuriakos. Rose Maria Rajan. Siddharth Menon. T.S. John Paul. Thank you. Let me now hand over to Shalini, class teacher, 12B.
Thank you, Ms. Joyce. Good evening, everyone. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is a courage to continue that counts, said Winston Churchill. Dear students, these past 2 years have been a journey filled with speculations and challenges. I'm happy to see you emerging from it with courage. Let success and failure be part of your journey, and may the paths that you embark on pave the way to hope and happiness. And always remember the people who stood by you when you needed them the most. We cherish every moment we spend with all of you these past 2 years. We wish you success in all your future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the gems of 12B. A. Aditya Mahadev. Arinanda Unni. Advika Rajagopal. Alana C. Roy. Anne Maria Felix. Andrea Trinell Fernandez. Ashwin John. Ashwin Ramadas. Aisha S. Catherine Anil Varghese. Chinmay Santosh. Gayatri Karta. Harun Jalil. Joanna Sarah Matthew. Jobel Sumesh. Johan Sumesh. John T. Alex. Joja Jaya Johnson. Jyotika Rajiv Menon. Leanne Anthony. Lynette Shobi Paul. Mariam Rebecca Jobin. Namita Hannah Ebi. Natasha Mary Jacob. Neetu Mariam Deepu. Niharika SK. Pawan Rubu. Priyan Benoy. Ritu Jacob. Ria Maria Joy. Sarah Ann Johnson. Sarah Biffy. Swati Sajit Kumar. Tessa Joe. Tejasvi Anand Narayanan. Thomas George Varghese. Thank you.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but the memory is priceless. So if we could please have the senior management team again with the students, class teachers, and associates of 12A and 12B so we can take that picture. Ms. Shamim Mohammed, School Advisory Committee member in Richmond, and Saritha ma'am to the stage to hand the scrolls over to the graduating students of CBSE Grade 12C and 12D, and to the podium, Mrs. Blessy Samuel, class teacher of CBSE Grade 12C.
Thank you, Zarina. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations, my dear children, as your resilience through the global pandemic has truly made me proud. Keep learning, keep trying, and keep accomplishing. As you venture on the journey of real life, I wish that success keeps following you in everything that you do, and that you keep reaching for the stars. Shine on and go for it. It's my pleasure to present to you the graduating batch, Class 12C of 2022. Aditya Bimal, Akhil Binoy Burgess, Alan Anthony Kondodi, Alexander Jose, Andrew Martin, Aisha Marie Joseph, Basil N. Cherian, Bethuel Nibu, Derek Martin Matthew, Fardeen Fayaz, Gayatri S, George Rajan Yarakil, Jacob Kuruvilla, Jamie Matthew, Jazir Mohammed, Joseph Joel George, Josh Thomas Teruville, Joshua Barki, Karthik Krishna, Kenaz Basil, Kiran MS, Kurian B. Ambadan, Manna Elizabeth Jijo, Manilal P. Manoj, Maria Solomon, Maria Thomas, Mayur Maruti Nikam, Mitravinda, Mohammed Zaiful, Nandita Miriam Joseph, Nayan Anna Paul, Neeraj KN, Nihal MN, P.A. Abraham Taragan, Razeen Gulzar Mohammed, Rohan J. Pallikal, Rohit C.N., Sahil Sabi Athanikil, Sarah Grace Matthew, Sharanya Menon Mutedathu, Shriya Shrishan Menon, Shruti Liz John, Surya Narayan, Tina Mariam Alex, Vaishnavi Dushyant, Vijay T. Jyotis, Zia Nafisa Niaz. Thank you. I now hand over to the class teacher of 12D, Ms. Geeta.
Thank you, Blessy. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations, dear children. It has truly been a blessing to be your teacher for the past 2 years. I have learned many things from you, and may your journey in life be blessed. Continue to dream new dreams and embark your life with zeal. Ananya James Augustine. Ananya Sibi. Angelina Elizabeth Philomen.
Antara Ramesh Nair. Arvind Anil Kumar. Benjamin Reggie Paul. Dia Bijoy. Gauri N. Menon. Jitasha Joshi. Joanne Susan Wilson. Lena Judson. Marianne Varki. Naira Ayaril Alikunja Sunil. Nanda Menon. Ria PR. Uma Kanjalamadam Pillai. Uma Pradeep Palari. Thank you.
Okay, one last time, senior management team, time to say cheese. Graduates, please come forward and take your positions. I invite Lakshmi Ma'am once again on stage to light the candle, a symbol of hope, warmth, celebration, and the promise of a new day. Saritha Ma'am will pass the light to Lakshmi Ma'am. Hafiz Mohammed, school pupil leader, Alyssa Mariam Kurivilla, head girl, and Priyan Benoy, head boy, will pass the light to the class of 2022.
Namaste. Good afternoon.
Class of 2022, let the light within you shine bright and fill the world with that light wherever your path may take you. Mrs. Seema Venugopal, Vice Principal Academics, will now administer the graduation pledge.
We, the class of 2022, stand before you now and acknowledge that we are committed to a new life of honor. We pledge to you today that your help to bring us this far was not in vain. We will make a positive difference in our world, living in harmony with our surroundings and fellow beings. This is our commitment to you, our alma mater, our family, our friends and fellow citizens. Congratulations, young graduates, and best wishes.
The Graduate's Prayer by Helen Steiner Rice. Father, I have knowledge, so I pray you'll show me how to use it wisely and find a way somehow to make the world I live in a little better place and make life with all its problems a bit easier to face. Grant me faith and courage and put purpose in my days and show me how to serve thee in the most effective ways. So all my education, my knowledge, and my skill may find their true fulfillment as I learn to do thy will. And may I ever be aware in everything I do that knowledge comes from learning and wisdom comes from you.
Congratulations. Let's hear another round of applause for our graduates. With that, we're coming to the end of tonight's celebration. But before we leave, I invite Mrs. Susanna Sunil, Vice Principal IT, Systems and Communications, to render the vote of thanks, which will be followed by the school song and the national anthem.
Thank you, Zarina. It is indeed a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks this evening and acknowledge those who worked hard to make this event a success. My deepest gratitude to our Chief Guest, His Excellency Mr. Venu Rajamani, IFS, for his inspirational keynote address. Sir, thank you for your insightful address today. It has added immense value to this solemn occasion. To the parents of the class of 2022, I would like to extend a special word of thanks. Your support, sacrifice, and strong belief has helped our students throughout their studies. We share with you the sense of awe and wonder as you watch your little ones flutter from one phase of their lives into another, and join you in prayers for their continued success. To the members of the management team, our deep appreciation towards your dedication and sterling vision in motivating us to take Global Public School to greater heights. No event like this could be successful without hours and hours of brainstorming, planning, and detailing. To Jovi Productions for the song editing, and to Chris Ads for the printing. Mr. Karthik Raman for his lending a beautiful touch to our choir song with his melodious voice. A big, big thank you. To the administrative staff, to Charan Sir and his support team, the transport team, and to Mr. Murugaya and his catering team, our sincerest gratitude for going that extra mile to bring this event to life. In closing, let me thank our class of 2022. You leave this ceremony, class of 2022, with a duty to uphold the good name of GPS, your alma mater. We hope that wherever you are and whatever you do, you will always reflect positively on your parents, your school, and your country. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the school anthem and the national song anthem after that.
Okay, there's still one last important thing we have to do. Graduates, this is the day you've been eagerly anticipating, and we've come to the moment you've all been waiting for. Are you ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, class of 2022. Graduates, before you leave, please return your caps and gowns to your class and associate teachers who will be standing at the back of the auditorium. Remember to collect your tiny jar of simple your Thank you all once again. And a lovely audience. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Thank you. Please note that refreshments will be served right outside the auditorium. Have a good night.